Greetings and welcome to the Halloween edition of the Sliders Review. Now, wasn't that spooky? Alright, well, I shall talk to y'all later. Bye. And I'm here today to talk to you about Curse of Chucky. So this movie came out in 2013, many years after that of Seed of Chucky. Seed of Chucky kind of killed the franchise with how campy it was. I have yet to see it. I don't know if I will because I'm kind of afraid, but I might give it a whirl, even though I did not like Bride of Chucky at all. And so, this is the first Chucky movie to be released on DVD. And wait, did this come out in 2012 or 2013? 2013. It was created and started up and, written and all this stuff in 2012. Anyway, this is the first one to come out on direct to DVD. I remember when I heard about this, I was kind of worried because I'm just kind of like, man, this movie used to come out in the theaters and now it's coming out on DVD. That's normally that's normally a sign that a franchise is dead. However, Curse of Chucky, Dan Mancini wrote and directed this movie, went back to basics. He went back to the drawing board. He went back to basics with this, and he turned Chucky back into a horror franchise as opposed to the camp and everything. He tried to reinvent Chucky because how Scream reinvented the genre, and so that's when he went all campy and comedy and stuff. But here he went back to basics, and not only did it went back to basics, but it tied it back into that of the first movie and stuff. And so that was kind of cool because we get more into the inside backstory of that of Charles Lee Ray. And so we get introduced to the character of Nico in this. I got first introduced by her in the television series, and I was as confused as I could be because I had never watched the movies at that time except for the third one. And so, Nico is paraplegic. She lives with her mother, and her mother all of a sudden dies. They assume it was that of suicide. Now, it turns out, of course, it was Chucky. Her sister and husband and nanny and little kid comes to, convince her to sell the house. And so, the sister is played by Danielle Bizzuti. I can't quite say her name. She's from True Jackson. I remember her a lot. And so, her family is really interesting because they have a live-in nanny and she appears to not like the nanny. There's a nice flipping of the script. You assume that the nanny is having an affair with the husband because of how they interact with each other and how the wife looks at them. But it turns out it's the wife having an affair with the younger nanny and stuff. And the husband is very aware and wants to catch them in the act to the point where he puts a camera on Chucky and stuff like that. Now, when I first saw this, I'm all like, why does Chucky's head look so bizarre and weird and stuff? It just looks bigger than normal and his teeth are weird. Well, that's because he put prosthetics on to cover up the scars from the stitching that Tiffany did from the Bride of Chucky movie, which was just ingenious and everything. So this direct-to-DVD movie does tie in to that of the older franchise and stuff, because many people was assuming it might be like a soft reboot or a hard reboot, but it's not. And so the other reboot came in the Mark Hamill movie, which I still haven't seen yet. Why did they make his face look like that in that rebooted movie? Anyways, so here, this is kind of in a way a soft reboot because you have the little girl in this who I think name is Allison or something like that. She is technically the new Andy and everything. She befriends Chucky. She thinks he's great, and nobody wants to believe that he is alive. And it's great that he went back to basics because he kind of must have realized that, I screwed up in the past and everything in the late 90s and stuff. And so Nico is a great addition to this movie. She's paraplegic, but she's very much a hero. And she is a fighter and stuff. She will not, she discovers all on her own, the whole reveal of like Chucky. So like while the family is bonding and her sister not getting along, Chucky puts rat poison in one of the food, but we don't know who it is. And I love the suspense of it. They bring in back the suspense of who Chucky might have killed. And so it's going around, and you see the little girl like choking on the food, doesn't think it tastes great, so you think it's her, but it's actually the pastor. And sweating buckets, he dies off screen. Now, one complaint or two complaints I have about this movie is that some of the kills don't really feel all that great. They're very 2010s, and there isn't that much swearing in here. Basically, this isn't the 80s or the early 90s no more. So you can't get away with saying certain words, and you can only limit it. So Chucky's like vulgarity is very, very, very limited in here, and it's not cool. Because everybody likes it when he's foul mouthed and everything. And so, like, it's cool how you had the little girl who's kind of like the Andy Tyler, you know. It's all like, oh, Chucky, don't say cuss words, it's bad and everything. And you're my friend to the end and everything. And so I really like that. And so while all this is going on, Nico is figuring out who Chucky is and the murders and Andy and all this other stuff. And so she's trying to warn her sister. By this time, it's now been revealed that her husband knew all along about, like, the sister and the affair and stuff. Not sister, but his wife and the affair with the nanny. And so when Chucky keeps talking about, like, the sister Barb, has the eyes of his mother, he cuts out one of her eyes. I'm not sure how that would kill somebody, but maybe he stabbed her inside a couple of times, who knows. But then there is a flashback of what he meant. In this movie, Chucky is more methodical and sinister and very stealthy and cold in this movie. It turns out he was a family friend of, like, their family. He was in love with their mother. At first, I thought he might have been their father, but no. So he ends up killing their father. But then when it's revealed that, he, like, I think, like, the mother didn't truly love him or something like that, he decided he was going to take it out on Nico in the womb, stabbing the mother in the womb. And so that would cause her to be paraplegic. He is literally responsible for that. Afterwards, the mother called the police before he stabbed her. And so he went on the run in the 80s. And this is when, like, the cops found him at the toy store. They shot him, and he transferred his soul into that of, like, the doll and everything. So when she finds all this out and everything, she has to literally fight while being paraplegic, crawling around on the floor. And it's really, really great. And so, but the craziest thing is, like, there's a police officer who's investigating, like, the pastor who he knows, because the pastor is his sponsor for sobriety. And so when he goes into the house, he sees all the dead bodies, he sees Nico with the knife, and he sees the Chucky doll just laying there and assumes it's her. So she gets blamed for the murders. Very similar to how Andy's mom got blamed. And what's fascinating is that in the second movie, there's supposed to be a court scene where Andy's mom goes to an insane asylum. They cut that because of budgetary reasons. What's so smart is that Dan always brings things back that he wanted in the original movies but could never do. So now Nico's on trial. She's put in an insane asylum and stuff. And what's crazy about this movie is that Chucky finally gets to win. Like, he's not destroyed in this movie. And in fact, like, he finds the little girl at her grandmother's place. He kills the grandmother, but he has like a bag around her head. She later recuperates and everything. But he transferred his soul, at least I'm assuming he does, inside the little girl, which is something he always wanted to do, transfer into, like, another body and stuff. The problem is the rules of the voodoo curse. You're only supposed to transfer your soul into a person you first revealed. Well, actually, no, wait, he does reveal himself to her. That's right, he does. But it's done the same way Andy did. Okay, I'm thinking about, like, the other movie. Never mind. So anyway, So he transfers his soul into her. And so we get a post-credit end scene with Tiffany. And she is showing that she shipped like, the whatchamacallem, the shipping off the no, what's his name? Chucky dolls to people and stuff. And so she kills that cop, and it's mysterious because the cop, he answers the phone and he's all like, I got the doll from the evidence locker, and like, where's my money and stuff. And then Tiffany cuts his throat. Well, it couldn't have been Tiffany he was talking to, because like, she was in the back of the car and he would have heard that. And so like she mails him off to Andy. Now this scene I did not see on Tubi, which these Chucky movies are still available for 8 days now until they get rid of them. They did not have the second post in credit scene with Andy, because apparently what happens is that Chucky gets sent to Andy as an adult. Andy pulls out a gun and shoots like Chucky and stuff like that, which sets it up for the next movie. And so like I am kind of curious as to how like Chucky is able to split his soul. I know he's able to do that in the television series, but I don't know exactly how he's able to do it unless he read something in that voodoo book and stuff. And so yeah, this movie was very enjoyable and stuff. It was a whole lot better than that of like the third and the fourth. I still haven't watched Seed of Chucky yet, but I'm probably gonna too, just to be curious and stuff. And so, but it's a shame this had to come out on direct to DVD. I think this would have done great at the box office. And once again, its runtime is very short. All right, let's address the elephant in the room. I know it's not Halloween. All right, that's long past. But when it came to my Halloween videos, I ran out of time and I couldn't upload everything I wanted to. So that's why I'm uploading them past Halloween. But if you stop and look at it like this, at some point in time, it's going to be Halloween time again, October. So somebody eventually will stumble upon my videos and watch it around Halloween time. So yeah.